Okay, what's up, guys? It's been a long time. So today we are going to be talking about the scam that is British driving laws, the scam behind the DVLA. And sorry if my camera's a bit shaky. I'm sorry I'm not behind the wheel, but this is why I think it's a scam. So basically, in the UK, we pride ourselves for having the hardest driving laws in the planet. I don't know why that's a good thing. Human human movement should always be a free priority. You are never tested to go up in a horse and take it. So I know a horse isn't exactly a huge bucket of metal, but yeah, it's just the freedom to move around. So I don't know why the UK prides itself in being so regulatory behind its driving. It just seems very authoritarian to me. So yeah, also we just have other weird things as well. Like, we're very outdated. Like, everyone drives in the right side of the road. We're the very few countries that drive in the left. We have our dashboard to the left. We have our steering wheel to the left. And then you say, okay, well, the driving's a bit strange. Roads and cars are different everywhere. Look at Cuba, they still drive 1950s cars, and yeah, but sorry, they have more freedom than we do. And you might say, why is that? Are you just bitter that you've failed a few tests? Well, no, it's because when I did the tests, I looked at the paper and found out there was a pass ratio, and it said failed before I even switched the engine on. So that was a waste of 7 years and 5 tests, I believe. And of course, you could take the militant driving tests, which cost more, but most people in the UK, they usually take one driving lesson as soon as they turn 18. They'll take one driving lesson a week, and it'll usually take a year before your instructor decides that you're ready for a test. It's always a year, and you have to always do your theory first. We're the only ones that do digitalized tests as well, even though that has no evidence of increasing or decreasing car crashes. In fact, we're very high when it comes to drunken car crashes and speeding and everything. So and sound pollution and all these type of things. So digitalized driving tests is just the theory test before you do the practical test. Is just a way to make more money for the test centers in the paperwork way, and then practically they make it that way because they'll always fail you the first time. So they make and then they might pass you the second or third time. And a lesson costs £50, I believe, in the UK. Yep, 50. And the prices are probably going up, so it's definitely not a working class thing. It's a very middle class, upper class thing. So it's £50 a lesson. So if you're working class, you ain't gonna afford that. And yeah, and you should have the right to move. So it's £50 every week for a year, and then it's £80 for the theory test. So once you get to that year and your instructor says, I think you're ready for the test, what he actually means is he thinks you're ready for the theory test. And the theory tests are quite difficult, and they cost £40, I believe. And they're going up in prices. So it's like £50 for the whole year. And when he says you're ready for your test, your first, which you know is going to be rigged, because you know you're going to do it 2 or 3 times. You do your digitalized test, which is £40, and you have to have a battle of passing that. And then once you pass that, you're still doing your driving lessons. And then after you do your driving lessons, you do your, once you pass your theory and the computer algorithm decides you should pass, then you do your practical, and yeah, and obviously the test center wants to make money, so obviously they'll fail you the first time, and so the test center's making money both in the paperwork way and the theory way and the practical way by constantly failing you, and the driving instructor's constantly making money by failing you, and by the time you get to maybe the third or fourth time, and this is like within 3 years, then you might have passed. And all of this while some guy, well, before Brexit anyway, could just come with a lorry, steering wheel and dashboard, and the other side, no experience of UK roads, UK management, could just come here with all our lorries, and obviously you cannot have lived in the UK for years, but as long as you just pass that rig test, then you can just come back after like 7 years, it's like, we've become very digitalized and very different. A decade wouldn't have been that different in the 90s, but it is now, So, you wouldn't have had the risk of worrying about kids glued to their phones back in like 1980. So, yeah. You could have been vanished from the country for like years and then just come back, and obviously society's changed. So, yeah, you should be, and you don't have to retake it then, so that's another issue I have with it. And it just makes you drive in a very unrealistic way. Like, when I had my car, I used to put the L plates on with my parents, and I used to drive everywhere around the UK, and obviously when it just came to the test, it just wasn't enough. So, yeah, if you have any issues with the UK driving system, and if you think there's a pass ratio, or if you think it's rigged in some sort of way, or and here's another thing, I think I made a video about insurance, how you get charged to take out your own money, but yeah, it all just seems like a scam to me, and like what's it called, they deliberately like try to poke any little thing to fail you, like, oh, you didn't look every 2 seconds at this direction while looking at that. Like, do I have to smoke like a bunch of meth to pass this test? Like, I'm just sorry, but give your thoughts and opinions down below. Peace.